I'm a veteran of 8 national presidential campaigns. I spent 35 years in the corroded rectum of the two-party system. Our system,
the quote of the day.
Our system is broken.
All my Democratic friends reflected an increasing lack of ease with Hillary Clinton's candidacy. Her unfavorables are climbing. She's mired in this email scandal. She's on defense. She's explaining, and when you're explaining in politics, you're losing. Look, voters need to know that Jeb Bush got a $4 million taxpayer-financed personal bailout from the federal government when Daddy was vice president. They need to know that. Well, first of all, nothing leaks like a secret meeting in Washington, D.C., but I think the plotters may find that trying to stop Trump is like stepping in front of a hurtling freight train. Presidential politics is about big picture sweeping issues and a few memorable phrases to get people to understand them, to retain them. It's not about 20-point plans. Ask Newt Gingrich how that works out. It's not about being the wonk in chief. I don't think that's what the voters are looking for either.
I think Assange has taken on the ruling elite of both left and right. The left loved Julian Assange when he exposed the dark secrets of the Bushes. And here he's exposing the dark secrets of the establishment. I believe that Mr. Assange has all of the emails that Huma Abedin and Cheryl Mills, the two top Clinton aides, believed that they had destroyed.
The problem here is career politicians. It's both parties, Republican and Democrat. The Republican Party has morphed into the same as the Democratic Party, the big money party, the Wall Street Party. It's not incidental that the people who are funding Hillary are funding Jeb Bush. They're the same entrenched financial interests. You know what they like? The status quo. That's what they like. Trump has the size and the style and the boldness to be president. It's the people who are tired of the two-party duopoly. The problems in this country, sadly, have been created by Democrats and Republicans together. First of all, Trump doesn't put all of his eggs in the tax reduction basket. It's very pro-growth, but Trump is the only one who would have the freedom from special interests to really cut spending. No career politician will ever really cut spending. And then they completely miss the story of the millions of new voters, new donors, new workers, people who've never been involved in the process before, who are flocking to the Trump banner. Other than Ronald Reagan, he is the most charismatic and interesting and kind of larger-than-life figure that I worked for.
Well, the most extraordinary thing about last night is that, at least in the state of Florida, $40 million was spent on heavy negative advertising on television, cable, and radio, as well as internet. And Trump spent comparatively almost nothing. And he won by 20 points.
The ruling class, the political establishment, they are wetting their britches over the rise of Donald Trump. They didn't see this. Why? Because Trump cannot be controlled. Because he's independently wealthy, he could break the back of the political system and the insiders. The Trump campaign is an insurrection. It's an insurgency. It's a revolt against the ruling class. And that's what the March on Cleveland is all about. I do think with Jeb's failure across the board, his underperformance, and that paleo diet, get this guy a cheeseburger. He's got no energy. He's just flat. There's no passion there. There's no can-do spirit. It's just somnambulant. This is why Trump is zooming past him.
It's an extraordinary day. I must tell you, 9 presidential campaigns, 40 years in American politics. I've never seen anything like this. We are obviously no longer a nation of laws. Now we're a nation of men. Although the FBI director had this great reputation as a by-the-book law and order guy, obviously that is not the case.
She says it's all about timing, when things may have been deemed as classified versus when she got them or sent them.
She also said she was under sniper fire in Bosnia.
Roger Stone, thank you very much.
I think one of the mistakes that analysts make is they look at the Republican primary electorate as monolithic. It is not monolithic. They're all different types of Republicans. Trump has said a number of things that would appear to violate the Republican orthodoxy, but I think that's because he appeals to a specific type of populist conservative within the Republican Party ranks. These are the same people that Reagan appealed to. Trump is the candidate of Main Street. He is not the candidate of Wall Street. I think this election is the leadership of the Republican and Democratic Party
which has given us 30 years of policy failure, versus Donald Trump and everyone else.
I want to ask you about Fiorina, too. Obviously, she's surging in the polls because the Republicans believe that she bested everyone in that debate. Do you see that lasting?
No, I really don't, because what it's brought with it is a scrutiny on her record. Between the layoffs, the outsourcing, now substantial evidence that she may have skillfully evaded sanctions to have HP do business in Iran, the fact that Barbara Boxer, using these very issues, dispatched her so easily in California, I think the bloom is off the rose. Plus the idea that she is an outsider. While it's true she's never held public office, she was the chief cheerleader for John McCain. There is the ultimate Washington insider.
Well, look, Steve, I think a presidential campaign must have unity of command. There has to be one person in charge. It's not a democracy. It has to be a dictatorship. And that person's authority must flow directly from the candidate, who's the ultimate boss, the ultimate authority, because it's his campaign.
I remain a very strong supporter of
Right, you've been publicly saying, even after all this, you're not talking bad against Trump.
We go back a very long time. I have, Donald Trump came to my wedding. I went to two of his. I was at both his parents' funeral, his brother-in-law's funeral. I have great affection for Trump and the Trump family. I have wanted him to run for president since 1988. Donald Trump is running against, 15 pygmies and a brain surgeon, a brilliant brain surgeon. The voices of the people who voted in the primaries have a right to be heard. These delegates didn't elect themselves. We elected them. We need a show of force to demonstrate to the politicians that the voters' votes in the primaries cannot be just disallowed, that it's not the party leaders who make this choice, it's the people. The ruling class is pissing their pants here. This guy is a challenge to the two-party duopoly that is running the government.
The Oppo package needed to take down Hillary, which is entitled The Clintons' War on Women. I was very happy to say that this book has done very well, despite the mainstream media efforts to make the current debate about adultery or marital infidelity or pain in your marriage when it's about something far darker: serial rape, sexual assault, intimidation, strong-arm tactics. With Hillary, an accessory after the fact. With Hillary, the woman running for president, being the point person in the terror campaign to intimidate, let's use a word to the left, and bully these women into silence.
He's a Manhattan real estate developer, and he's leading 14, 15 other experienced politicians. Why? Because he had a core message of taking on the system, fixing our broke immigration system, taking on China and Mexico, redoing these trade deals to bring jobs back to the country. He was a breath of fresh air. I also think, frankly, that Trump has a reach to African Americans and in the end to Latinos that is understated. Well, I doubt that they'll ever be prosecuted because this is a phenomenon known as elite deviance. That's where there are certain people, certain families, certain individuals so wealthy, so powerful, so connected that the law just doesn't apply to them. They can traffic drugs, they can use drugs. They can have their own email server, they can erase government emails. They can murder people, they can lie, they can perjure themselves, they can steal from nonprofit foundations, and they never pay any particular legal price. There are no consequences.
Who would Donald Trump pick as a running mate?
Well, my view would be that at this juncture, I would look hard at Dr. Ben Carson and Carly Fiorina. First of all, an African-American would be used.
He slammed Carly Fiorina time and time again.
Yeah, and you know what? George Bush slammed Ronald Reagan, too, and he got on the ticket. Politics, let me add one other. Lyndon Johnson hated John Kennedy, and he got on the ticket. So politics is about winning. It's about inclusion. And I'd look at those two because they're non-politicians.
Did he tell you? Did he tell you that?
No, this is my opinion, but I think it's obvious from these poll numbers. The American people want bold solutions from people who aren't part of our fetid political system. Trump will either win Hispanic votes or not win them based on an economic vision. He's either going to offer Hispanics and all Americans prosperity, opportunity, jobs, a chance to recapture the American dream, or he's not. I think that is a more powerful message than illegal immigration, because most of the legal immigrants that I know, they're concerned about illegal immigration. Corruption is not an ideological issue. I don't care whether you're a liberal or a conservative or a Republican or a Democrat. You want a clean government that is not ruled by special interests. It's not an ideological issue. It's what is propelling Trump. If I wrote a book about his girlfriends, his mistresses, his one-night stands, it'd be an encyclopedia. This is not the point. The point is he has abused women. She's helped cover it up. She's an enabler. That's what the book's about.